and they support it because they talking about how the story is about, what the story is about.
Good job. They help tell us what the story is about. Great job, Madison. Great response. Like I said, all right, another 2. Let's go. Y'all doing great today. Y'all are doing great today. All right. You can go ahead and put your head down now, Madison. All right. So again, we're talking about, objective for today. I can determine the main idea of a text, recount the key details, and explain how they support the main idea. So I want y'all to go to the first story. I'm also going to share my screen so y'all can read it with me. It's called Betwixt and Between. The first story for today is called Betwixt and Between. So if you go in your binders and see it, but I'm also going to share my screen in case those don't have their binder yet. Let me go to my screen. All right. Let me go find that. Okay. So y'all should see, can you all see my screen? Thumbs up if you can see the screen. Y'all can see it? Okay, good, 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 good. So Betwixt and Between, y'all should be on this story in your binders. So that way we're going to be reading this story for the next 2 days. And remember, we're looking for the main idea and key details that support that main idea. All right. So now, you should always read a story twice to find the main idea. How many times should you read? Let me see those fingers. How many times should you read a story to find the main idea? Good job, Jocelyn. I see your answer. Good job, Valerian. I see yours. I see yours, Calvion. I know you probably put yours up, Madison, because you already know. I am taking down those dojo points. So, twice. Good job. Good job. You should be seeing it twice. I got you, Jocelyn. All right. Now, Betwixt and Between, we're going to talk about growing up in African American revolutionary times. So in the 1700s, there was a war going on between America and the British. And this article explains what happened during that time. Also, Dylan, I did see you. I'm going to mark you too. I'm sorry, Dylan. All right. So hopefully you have your binders with you. If you don't, you can just look at my screen because I share my screen with you all. And I'm going to first read it first. And then the second time we read, I'm going to call on a couple of students to read the paragraphs with me. So that way, the second time we can actually find that main idea. But first, I would like to show y'all a video that I found that will help explain what we're going to be reading about. Let's see if I can. Wait, before I start, thumbs up if you can hear the video. You can hear the video? Y'all can hear the video? Okay, cool. All right, I'm just gonna start it over. Hold on, let me just start it over so y'all can see. I got you, Madison. I see you, Calvion. Hold on. Just 1 second, Calvion. I'm gonna stop the video for questions in just a minute, okay? Oh, there's no value? Oh. Try that. Let me go back, stop sharing screen. I don't know why some people couldn't hear it. I'm gonna try. Are there any questions so far about the video or about what's going on? Hold on, Valeria, I can't hear you. You gotta have to raise your hand. But yes, you're gonna log on to that later when you have your hold on, Valeria. Let me unmute you. Go ahead, Valeria.
I'm trying to enter Class Dojo, but I can't.
You can't enter it?
It tells me how to choose to enter my class.
I'm gonna put the code, Valeria, in the chat box once we're done learning, so that way all of you all can enter it, or like uploading your answers when y'all do the worksheet. Okay? Yeah, I'm gonna put it. I didn't forget. I didn't forget, Valeria. I got you. All right. So that's something like where we're gonna talk about how slaves were part of the American Revolution, which was a war between us and the British, which is another country in Europe. And we're gonna talk about how slaves were kind of injustice. They didn't have much autonomy. They were kind of like the video said, thrown into the war sometimes, or just stayed as slaves. So we're gonna talk about that. So make sure you're at the article betwixt and between. And I'm gonna go find that. I'm gonna share my screen so I can do the so people can read it with me. All right, you should be on this article betwixt and between. So I'm gonna read it first, and remember the second time, remember you read it twice for the main idea. So the second time, I'm gonna be calling on the other students to read with me for the second time. Betwixt and between growing up African American in revolutionary times. So I'm reading this gray box first, right here. During the majority of the 1700s, the 13 colonies would eventually become the United States and were controlled by England. The colonies gained independence after the American Revolution, which lasted from 1775 to 1783. In this informational text, Leslie Anderson Morales discusses the African Americans' experience during this period of time. As you read, take notes on how African Americans were treated in the colony. So as we read, I want y'all to be looking for that one sentence that tells us the main idea. Oh, I see a hand raised. Hold on, I got you. Ooh, how do I? Hold on, just 1 second. I'm about to unmute you, Madison. Yes, Madison.
Why do they try to make why do they try to make people slaves when the slaves try to escape?
Say that one more time. Oh, wait. I'm about to unmute you again. Say that one more time, Madison.
Why do the people make other people slaves when they try to escape being a slave?
Because at that time, Black people didn't have any rights, so they were only slaves. So if they tried to run away and they got captured, they were either thrown into the war, which you saw like on the pictures on the video, they were holding the guns, fighting in the war, or they were going back to slavery. They didn't really have a choice. Yeah. All right, let's get to reading. Oh, let me go here. All right, what was it like to be an African American in the 1700s? I'm on the first paragraph right here. If you're, I know some of y'all reading the passage, if y'all have y'all binders, but if you don't, I'm gonna read it from here. What is it like to be African American in the 1700s? A lot depended on where you lived. An enslaved African who was one of 300 on a Virginia tobacco plantation had a different life from his brother, who was the only slave owned by a New York shoemaker. So what that saying was, you came as a family to the Americas when they brought Black people over here. However, a lot of Black families were split up. So you could be living in Virginia while your brother could be living in New York. Black men and women worked in many trades and occupations. In 1700, 1 in 5 Americans were of African descent. Without them buildings would have not been built, farms would have not been tended, and merchants would have not grown rich. So without the African Americans coming over, there would be no buildings, no farms, and merchants would have not grown rich. Children worked alongside adults in the field. Kitchens, stables, and shops. Even young children had chores to do and little time to play. They survived in a world where boys and girls could be sold for $4,500. African Americans hated slavery and tried to escape whenever they could. Some who fled from slavery joined the British. They hoped to gain freedom in return for their labor. For example, Ralph and Nancy Heery escaped from slavery to the British lines, where their daughter Molly was born free. Some enslaved men and women earned small wages from their owners. They saved for years to buy freedom for themselves, family, and friends. It was a hard struggle, though. In 1790, the first U.S. census counted more than 750,000 African Americans. Only about 60,000 were free. Whether slave or free, adults taught children their African heritage, histories, customs, songs, and skills. It didn't matter where you or your ancestors had come from in Africa. What mattered was freedom. The freedom you had known in Africa or the freedom you dreamed of in America. So, that's the end of our story. Now, we already read it once, but I read it once. Now, I'm gonna call on some people who have their hand raised. So does anybody want to volunteer first to read? Anybody? Dylan, okay, Dylan, I see you. Getting your dojo points while you at it. Okay, Dylan, can you go ahead and read that first paragraph for us where it says, what is it like to be African American? And let's see, everybody also to see if we can probably find the main idea in that particular, maybe there's the main idea of the whole article in that paragraph. Let's see if we agree. All right, Dylan, I'm about to unmute you and, oh, come on, work with me now. All right, Dylan, you're on. Now you can read for us. Go ahead.
What was it like to be African American in the 700s?
1700, baby.
1700s. A lot depended on where you live. And enslaved African who was one of 300 on a Virginia tobacco plantation had a different life from his brother, who was the only slave owned by a New York shoemaker.
So, good job, Dylan. Thank you for reading. Dojo points. So, do you all think we found the main idea in this first paragraph? Any raised hands? Thumbs up or thumbs down if you think you found the main idea. Thumbs up if you found it, thumbs down if we didn't find the main idea of this whole article, the whole entire reading. Thumbs up if we found it, thumbs down if we did it. I see 1 thumbs down. Okay. You say thumbs down. I see Dylan say thumbs down. Jocelyn, what do you say? Thumbs up, we found the main idea. Thumbs down, if we did. Thumbs down. Calvion, Valeria got his thumb down. Madison put up the thumbs down emoji. Good job. We did not find the main idea in this first paragraph. It only talked about, it just gave us an introduction. It did have nothing else that all the other details was talking about. Remember, the main idea is all those details put together. What exactly is this entire article talking about? Okay, then we have another volunteer for the second paragraph. Oh, Jocelyn, I saw your head go up first. I saw you, Madison. I saw Jocelyn's head go up first. Go ahead, Jocelyn. You can go ahead and read the second paragraph now.
Black men and women worked in many trades.
Just a little bit louder, Jocelyn. Start over just a little bit louder.
Black men and women worked in many trades and
Occupations.
occupations. In 1771, and 5 Americans were of American descent.
African descent, baby. Read that over.
African descent.
Mm-hmm.
Without them, buildings would not have been built, farms would not have been tended, and merchants would not have grown rich.
All right. So, did we find the main idea in this part of the article? Thumbs up or thumbs down, we found the main idea in this part of the article, the main idea, like what the entire article is talking about. Do you think we found it? Thumbs up if we found it, thumbs down if we didn't find it. Madison, I'm gonna unmute you. What do you think? Did we find the main idea or did we not find it?
We didn't find it.
We did find it. Good job. What sentence is telling us what the entire article is about? Oh, wait. Hold on. Go back. Go ahead. Which sentence in this paragraph tells us the main idea of the entire article?
I think the one that says without them buildings.
Without them buildings? Do the rest of the article talk about them building buildings and on farms? Oh, no, wait, stop. Why does it keep muting you? I'm sorry.
No.
No, look back in that article. Which sentence talk about, let's see, I just skim along. Children working alongside adults, African Americans trying to escape, but they had to work for their labor. So they had to work for it. Some enslaved women earn small wages, wages meaning money. Whether slaves or adults, let's see the first sentence of that last paragraph. Whether slave or free, adults taught children their African heritage. Which one of those sentences talk about the rest of those paragraphs? Which one of those sentences in that second paragraph talk about the rest of the paragraphs in the article?
Black men and women worked in trades.
Good job. I want y'all to underline that sentence. Black men and women work in many trades and occupations. So a trade is, hey, I'm a slave, but I want to be free. So I'm going to trade you my work, or I'm going to trade you something in order for me to be free. And an occupation is a sort of job. So what they had to do for that job. So great job. We're going to underline because we already found the main idea. So we're going to underline, actually, sorry, not underline, sorry. We're going to circle that sentence. Circle that sentence, black men and women worked in many trades and occupations. So go ahead and circle that for us. All right. Valerian, can you read that? So now we're gonna look for what supports, I need to know. Valerian, what supports the main idea in a sentence? What supports the main idea in an article? What's that thing we need to start looking for now? Since we find the main idea, we need to look for what, Valerian?
We need to look for
what supports the main idea? Let's go back to our objective. I can determine the main idea, recount the key details, and explain how they support the main idea. So what's has to support the main idea?
the key details.
The key details. So now we're gonna have to look and underline those key details. So what I'm about to do is, I need you, Valeria, to go ahead and read that paragraph where it says children work alongside adults in the fields. I need you to read that and see if we can pull out something that matches our main idea. Black men and women work in many trades and occupations. Let's see if we can find a sentence that we can underline that supports that main idea. So go ahead and read for us.
Children work alongside adults in the fields, kitchens, stables, and shops. Even young children had chores to do and little time to play. They survived in a world where boys and girls could be sold for $4,500.
Okay, so now what sentence, and I see Akira, I see you all on, what sentence supports the main idea that Black men and women worked in many trades and occupations? Remember, occupations like jobs and trades like I'll do some work and you give me my freedom. Which sentence supports that? Does anybody have a hand raised? Akira, I see you. Which sentence supports that main idea?
Children work alongside adults in the field.
Good job, Akira. Good job, Akira. So we're gonna underline that sentence because that sentence shows like, hey, even children were working too. Even children had to work, which is crazy, right? Like what? Children had to work? Crazy. All right, and then go ahead, Akira, go ahead, take that next paragraph for us if you can and read that next paragraph for us.
African Americans hated slavery.
A little louder, baby.
African Americans hated slavery and tried to escape whenever they could. Some who fled from slavery joined a British. They hoped to gain freedom to return for their labor. For example, Ralph and Nancy Henry escaped from slavery to the British.
Uh-oh, you're breaking up a little bit. You're breaking up just a little bit. Akira, you're good? So I'm gonna read that last sentence for you, Akira, because you have broke up on the last sentence. So the last sentence says, for example, Ralph and Nancy Henry escaped from slavery to the British lands where their daughter was born free. All right. Is there anything in that paragraph that talks about how Black men and women worked many trades and occupations? Oh, I see a hand raised. Go ahead, Valerian. Let me see. Go ahead, Valeria. Oh, wait, hold on, Valeria. For some reason, it's not. it says connected to audio on yours. Can you hear me, Valerius? Thumbs up if you can hear me. Can y'all hear me? Y'all can hear me? Okay. Let me stop sharing my screen for a second. All right, Valeria, you had a hand raised. Go ahead.
They're inside the school, and that internet may be messed up.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It is inside the school because of all the power outages. The internet might be going in and out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's okay, Akira. Y'all do it fine. No, Erica and Keon, all of y'all in there, y'all do it just fine. Y'all do it just fine. It's not y'all fault. It's technology. Oh, somebody said they can't hear me. Oh, Lord. Please don't say that. Can you hear me now, Calvion? Hold on, sit down, but find some way to sit down, and then you probably can hear me. Probably on your phone too. All right, did we find any sentences? Anybody? Madison, I think I saw your hand raised. Is there a sentence that supports the key detail that supports that main idea that Black men and women work many occupations and trades? Oh, sorry. Hold on, wait. Go ahead, Madison. Go ahead, Madison. Wait, no, Madison. Hold on, wait. Hold on, Madison. Go ahead, Madison. Go ahead. Did you find the sentence?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Jocelyn, did you find a sentence that supports the main idea? Hold on, wait. Let me, I don't know why it's not going fast enough. Jocelyn, did you find a sentence?
No.
No? Okay, so let's keep reading. Let's keep going. Let me go back to sharing my screen. So let's keep going. All right. So read that next one because we're almost out of time. So some enslaved men and women work small wages from their owners. They saved for years to buy themselves freedom, freedom for themselves, family, and friends. It was a hard struggle, though. In 1790, the first U.S. census counted more than 750,000 African Americans. Only about 60,000 were free. That's only about 33% that were actually free. Whether slave or free, adults taught children from their African heritage, history, customs, and songs, and skills. It didn't matter where you or your ancestors had come from in Africa. What mattered was freedom, and the freedom you had known in Africa or the freedom you have dreamed in America. So let me go back to stop sharing my screen. All right. Does everyone see where you have the answers, the questions? Does anybody have that sheet in their binder? Thumbs up if you have it. Thumbs up if you have it. Okay, I see thumbs. I see thumbs. I see thumbs. All right. So now, question 1 says, I'm gonna go back to share my screen because I have it on my screen, I believe. And then you're gonna type your answer. Remember, correct answers will get you those those dojo points. And remember, you have to earn 60 by Friday in order for me to bring a treat to your house, or if you're at the school, I'll bring the treat to the school. So question number 1, which sentence describes the central idea, so meaning the main idea of the text? Is it A, when Africans came to America, it was under the belief they would have freedom? B, while African American men and women had to work all the time, children were allowed to play and learn? C, many enslaved Africans were paid for their work and were able to buy their freedom eventually? Or is it D, in the 1700s, many African Americans were slaves and forced to work for no or very little money? I want y'all to go ahead in the chat box and type if it's A, B, C, or D. Which one of these is the main idea of the entire article we just read? Type in the chat box. your answer. And only your answer. Remember, do not check anything else in that box. Only put your answer. Only put your answer. All right, I got a couple people that said C, D. Keep putting your answers in the chat box. What is the answer? What is the main idea of the article? Is it A, B, C, or D for number 1? Because that's part A. Which one is it? I'm going to give you all 10 more seconds to type your answer in the chat box. Type A, B, C, or D in the chat box. Remember, I have to talk about the entire article. Okay. All right, I think I got almost everybody. I'm waiting on Calvion, I believe. Yep, Calvion, wait on your answer in the chat box, baby. Just one more person. All right. So, part A, which is asking about the main idea, which sentence best describes the central idea of the text? That answer was actually D. In the 1700s, many African Americans were slaves and forced to work for no and very little money. Because remember, they were slaves already. So they either work for little money or they just did it because they were forced to work. So remember, they were forced to go into the war. Some of them were forced to just had to work many, many years to gain their freedom. And that's little money. They used to, like, I think it was back in the article where it says like children cost $4,000. If you go back into the article, I kind of went back to it already. And it says they survived in a world where boys and girls could be sold for $4,500. So they had to work years for that in order to even buy their children back and buy their freedom. That is a lot. So if you got D, you have the right answer. Now for part 2, so let's go back. Part B, now we're asking about the main idea. Now we're asking about a key detail. Which detail best supports from the text, best supports the answer to part A? So which one of these details best supports the answer D? In the 1700s, many African Americans were enslaved and forced to work for no or very little money. Is it A, Black men and women worked in trades and occupations in 1770? 1 in 5 Americans were of African descent. Is it B, for example, Ralph and Nancy Harry escaped from slavery to the British lines where their daughter Molly was born free? Is it C, they saved for years to buy freedom for themselves, family, and friends? It was a hard struggle though. Or D, what mattered was freedom, and the freedom you had known in Africa or the freedom you dreamed in America? Which one of these detailed sentences supports the answer? In the 1700s, many African American slaves were forced to work for no or very little money. So remember, type your answer in the chat box. Type your answers in the chat box. Make sure everyone can see it. Type your answers in the chat box. Which one of those are the right answer that supports? So a key detail always have to match the main idea. A key detail always have to match the main idea. I see some answers. Where am I finding? All right. So, because I have 1 minute. All right. So, a lot of y'all put C. They saved for years to buy freedom for themselves, family, and friends. It was a hard struggle though. However, it has to support talking about money or work. The answer was actually A. In the 1700s, many African Americans were slaves and forced to work for no or very little money. A explains black men and women had to work many trades and occupations in the 1770s. 1 in 5 Americans were African descent. But I do see why y'all pick C. That is a second key detail. So if you pick C, I'm still going to give you the right answer because that's a second key detail if we talk about more than one detail. However, the answer to number 2 was part A. But if you put C, I'm still going to give you that as a right answer. And remember, this was our exit ticket question for today. And you get 3 points if you answer the exit ticket question. So if you put A or C, your answers were correct. If you put B, B is wrong because it's talking about Ralph, Nancy, and Harry escaping slavery. It's not talking about black men and women working. D, it was talking about just freedom. And that's wrong because the main idea is how they had to work. How black men and women had to work. It does not talk about them trying. It talk about freedom, the whole article. All right, guys, this was great. I love you all, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Hold on, do not leave just yet. Do not leave. On Dojo, Class Dojo. Let me go back to Class Dojo so y'all can see. Let me just move that. Class Dojo, remember, you're gonna do questions 3 and 4. You're gonna do questions 3 and questions 4. Thumbs up if you got that. Thumbs up if you know to do questions 3 or 4. Good job. I see some thumbs up. I see some thumbs up. You're gonna take a picture of your questions for 3 and 4, and I want y'all to upload it to where it says ELA61. Again, you're gonna do questions 3 and 4, take a picture of it and upload it to upload it to where it says ELA 6/1, because today is June 1st. Of course, it's the 6th month of the year. And upload that today. And you got all data uploaded. I'm not checking it until around 8 o'clock tonight. Okay, guys? All right. I love you all. And y'all have a great day. Enjoy math. Oh my God, I miss y'all so much. Yay. All right, I'm also gonna say you also will be seeing your dojo points being uploaded. So if I'm distracting y'all, I'm so sorry. I'm just trying to upload you all's dojo points, okay? Okay. Bye, you guys. See you tomorrow, 10 a.m. Don't be late. Remember, dojo points, don't be late.